What is up, guys? Today we have a move called the blade pass. That's the move. Here is a slow-mo. To begin, I'm going to tell you guys, check out Silent Gloves. He actually showed me this trick. I'm pretty sure he invented it because I've never seen anything like it before. If any of you guys have any more unique tricks like this that are never before seen, let me know, because that is what I'm into. Now, let's begin. To begin this move, you're going to start off holding the knife by the safe handle in a standard grip about 3/4 or maybe 2/3 of the way up the handle. So a little bit lower maybe than usual, but nothing crazy. You're going to begin this move by flinging the bite handle out over the back of your hand, and then you're going to take your index finger, which you can see is extended behind the safe handle, and you're going to curl it inwards slightly. So it's not all the way across, it's just inwards a little bit. And what that's going to do is when you fling the blade back down, the blade will go past your finger, but the bite handle will get stopped by your finger. So once again, you got the safe handle, you fling the bite handle over the back of your hand, you curl your index finger in slightly, and then you flip the blade back. And what that'll do, you'll wind up in this position here, which is a great spot to take your thumb and you can place it on the blade, right about here. So it's not like super high up, but just in a natural kind of grip right here. So what that'll look like is something like this. Out over the back of your hand, forward, and pinch. From here, what you're going to do is you're going to take the bite handle, you're going to fling it back again. But one thing you want to note is when you are flinging out the bite handle, you're going to want to fling it in such a way that it's more back towards your face or in line with your wrist. So right now the bite handle is pointing right at my face. And that's going to help with the next thing, which is a spin. So, once again, right, you got the safe handle, you flip it out, index gets curled in, you come back, you pinch the blade, you fling the bite handle back towards your face. From here, what you're going to do is you're going to do a bit of a twist. And so what happens is, you can see when you catch the blade, if you point the bite handle towards your face, you'll note your wrist is kind of flexed in such a way like you're going to push something, right? What you can do is you can just curl your wrist, and that's going to cause a little bit of a twisting motion that's going to generate the momentum you need to do this spin. So what happens is you're going to curl your wrist, and as you're curling your wrist, you're going to remove your thumb and do a little bit of a push with your index finger. And it's hard to do when you don't have any momentum from the trick, but it'll look something like this with the catch there. Now, some tips for this one are, one thing that can happen, I find, is it's kind of hard because your thumb is kind of in the way. If you think of pushing with your index finger, I find that makes it easier to get your thumb out of the way. I don't really know why, because it's not so much a push with your index finger, it's mostly a wrist twist. But if you think of pushing with your index finger, I find that'll help you get your thumb out of the way for this spin. So anyways, so you flip it up, you catch the blade, you flip it back, you do a spin, a full spin, and then you catch the blade in about the same spot. Now for this move, when we're learning here, I'm going to get you to just catch it and pinch it. And when you pinch it, you're going to want to make sure you're pinching it on the side of the blade and your index finger isn't extending past the blade. Because if you catch it with your finger extending past the blade, there's a chance you can get cut if you're not experienced doing blade grabs by wrapping your finger around. And we'll talk about this later, because there's certain situations where you can put your finger past, but we'll get into that in a bit. So what we have so far is you're going to fling the bite handle out, catch the blade, do a spin, and a catch. Now, from here, what you're going to do is you are going to extend out your middle finger, like so, so it touches the blade. And then, from this catch, the second catch, you'll note you'll have caught it after doing this twist. You'll catch the blade in this kind of extended wrist position, I don't know if extension is the right word, but the straight wrist kind of position. What you can do is you can extend your middle finger, and you can flex your wrist back up, like so. And what that'll do is it'll cause the knife to flip back downwards. And you can wind up in this position where you're pinched between your index finger and middle finger. So to go over that again, right, from here, the catch, you're going to extend your middle finger. You are going to flex your wrist upwards, remove your thumb, and you're going to wind up pinching between your index finger and your middle finger. From here, you're just going to take your thumb, put it behind the blade, you're going to flip it over, and from here you can just do another flip and a catch. So, the spin, the catch, middle finger out, flex your wrist upwards, you pinch, thumb behind, over top, and catch. Now, for the actual move looks a little bit different, right? It's not necessarily a pinch. Usually I just let it ricochet right off my thumb, and then you can just go straight into a catch with your index finger and middle finger. You'll note that my fingers are extended past the blade like I told you not to do earlier. The reason for that is if you skip any part of the movement where you're touching the blade in this way, so as long as you keep your hand perpendicular to the blade, so you're not like this, you're not like that, you're like this, you'll note my fingers don't bend in such a way that they can go in front of the blade, right? I can't bend my fingers sideways, and so if I'm pinched like this, there's really no way for me to get cut. So that'll be a technique that you're going to have to get used to, but that's how the move actually goes when you get good, right? So you do this flip, this catch, this is the same. You do the spin, you're just going to use your thumb to catch and not your index finger, and then from here you're going to flex your wrist and go right into the catch here, around, back upside down, catch, and you're done. So that's the whole move. Big shout out to Silent Gloves. Check them out in the description. Peace.